Hello everyone, my name is Marcin and welcome to my Photoshop tutorial in which I'm going to teach you how to create natural looking freckles on the portrait image. So I started with this and ended up with this. Before we start, I just want to let you know that I just created my own page and I'm offering completely free course on portrait retouching essentials. So if you are interested in retouching, want to learn non-destructive way of retouching, this will be amazing start. The link is in the description, and for now, let's start our tutorial. At first, we need to create an empty layer. So I'm going to hit the small icon on the bottom, create an empty layer, and then I'm going to rename this into freckles number 1. So why I did the number? Because later on we might create more layers with different type of freckles, different size of freckles, and I'm putting the numbers to not get lost. Then I need to fill this layer with the gray color. The best way to do it is through Edit, Fill, and fill with 50% gray. So contents 50% gray, and then hit OK. At this moment, we don't have to change the blending mode, but we need to create something that will imitate the freckles. I like to do it through filter and camera filter. So I'm going to camera and I'm going to FX panel to add grain. Of course, it will depend on the image, but in most of the cases, the grain have to be really large size. And roughness the same. So for this image it's relatively big. If it's very small image, of course you will not go to these numbers, but for regular sized image you want the big grain, big size grain, and rough. Also I'm trying to increase the contrast. If I will be able, it will be very difficult, but there is a few ways we can do it. We can decrease the black pixels, increase the white pixels, try to increase the highlights and decrease the shadows. There will not be really many of the changes, but with whites and blacks we can get a little bit, with contrast the same. Maybe with the texture we can increase something a little bit. If not, it's not too bad because it still will be visible, but the more contrasty our effect is, the better it will look. So then I'm going to hit OK. And now I have to change blending mode from normal to overlay or soft light. So it depends on how strong the freckles I will want to create. At first I will go with overlay. So when it comes to the gray color, when we choose overlay or soft light, the gray color will not be visible. The white color will be brighter, and the dark color will be darker. So that's why this noise is able to imitate some freckles. So I'm starting with overlay. It's decent size, actually. I'm liking it. So increasing everything to 100%, 200 for this image was suiting well. So what I need to do first, I'm also duplicating this freckle layer. Because I might manipulate later with some more layers, as I mentioned before. So to do it, I'm pressing Command or Control and J to duplicate this, and I'm going to rename this freckles number 2, just for now. And then I'm going to turn off visibility. So of course freckles do not exist on the water and some areas that they supposed to not exist. So that's why we need to choose the location where we place them. The best way to do it, of course, is working with the mask. So I'm creating this small icon, Add Layer Mask. And in case of the mask, the white color, as I always say, represent the effect visible, or rather what's on the layer visible. If we will invert this into color black, it won't be visible, it will disappear. So that's what I do. I press Command or Control and I to invert this, and then I will bring back the effect in the certain spots by using the brush and the white color, because white color visible, black invisible. If I paint with white on this mask, it will become visible. I'm going to press D to reset the color, and I have white, and then simply I'm trying to paint in the areas where the freckles are common. So I'm not really choosing some random area, but of course nose, it will be common. I don't want to have effect that is that strong. So what I can do, I can lower the flow or I can lower the opacity, but not in the areas the effect will be as strong. So I might lower the flow and slowly bring some freckles here on the nose. So you don't want to press too strong at the start. We can invert the brush into color black if it's too strong. And in some spots we want rather higher flow. I'm going to add some freckles over here. It will look quite nice. And over here I need to be careful. And they should be in the shadow. They should not be as strong as on the other side. So being more careful here. Just like this. Also, some freckles on the forehead. Some natural, not too strong freckles over here. And it looks not too bad. Of course, I was focused on the face, but if we want to add them in other areas of the body, that's of course alright, because the freckles appear in other areas of the body. It could be hands, it could be chest, so it will be really up to you. Just make sure it's natural and make sure it looks like it was always there. So now the other part, I created some freckles, so I want now create maybe some more freckles to make them looking more natural. So I have this other layer. I don't want all of this. I want to make them bigger. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose some tool that allow me to select some area. It could be a rectangular marquee tool. I'm going to select this part. Should be enough, maybe like this. And I'm going to do layer via copy. This freckles tool I will remove and replace with this freckles number 2 here. It might seem a little bit complicated. Also, I don't want overlay. It's actually quite strong. And in most of the cases, I would go with soft light. So, but just I wanted to do some diversity here. So what I did now, I'm sticking with some selection tool and then control and hit on my tablet, on my graphic tablet. You can hit right if you work with the mouse, and then free transform. So what I'm doing here, I want to transform this noise to make its size bigger. So the noise, aka our freckles, will have bigger size. So this is very important for making it look natural. And again, I'm going to create the mask, invert this, and paint over the same areas or different areas to just diversify the freckles that I have. A little bit more here and we can have a look. So as you can see, I added them bigger here. I want the bigger freckles here that are exposed to the sun. Maybe something here. Something here, but carefully. Just like this. I can try a few times, lower the flow if needed. Maybe something around here. And it's before, after. And this is it. Really a simple way on creating natural freckles. I really like this way. Depends if you need to create freckles from the start, if you need to improve the existing freckles. This technique will work really well. At the end, I want to remind you that there is a free retouching course available on retouching essentials, so raw conversion, cleanup, dodge and burn, retouching, and final touch-ups. It is for free on my website retouchingninja.com. The link to the course is in the description, and I'm going to see you in the next Photoshop tutorial here on YouTube very soon. Thank you.